to Merrifield's Gardening Advisor, brought to you by the experts at Merrifield Garden Center. Join us as we discover beautiful plants, new trends, and exciting ideas for your landscape. So let's get growing together. Merrifield's Gardening Advisor, bringing out the best in your garden.
We'd have to be happy here.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Merrifield's Gardening Advisor. Peg and I are so glad you could join us today. Thanksgiving was the other day. We hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You all had a wonderful one, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yes,
great.
Indeed.
That's right. We did too. We had a small amount at the table, but everybody came over afterwards, so it was wonderful as always.
That's great.
So now we're about to begin. We've officially begun the holiday season, so we've got a lot to talk about today. We've come inside, as you can see, on our set. We're very happy to be inside now. We'll be here for the holidays, for the winter season. But it's a time of welcoming people into your home, and that starts with your front door. So we're going to start with that.
Absolutely. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And now it's time. And I did hear the weather forecast, and it's supposed to warm up some. So now's the perfect time to begin outside. And so I was going through some of the pictures, trying to show you some of the things that I've done over the past, simply because I think I'm either at home or I'm at work, one or the other, you know. So this is a grand opportunity to share what has been done over the past. And Sharon, sitting next to me, was encouraging me. Okay, so I said to her, "What does this say to you?" And she said, "Ooh, warm and cozy and inviting, and I want to see what's inside." So hopefully that's how you feel when you come to your front door.
That's right.
And now's the perfect time to do that. So this is what we're going to talk about, but we will also talk about a few of my favorite things to have in my little bag that is going to be with me for the next few weeks.
That's right.
As I help to create all of these centerpieces and accent pieces and fun things. And then we're going to show you how, if you go to the trees, the beautifully decorated Christmas trees, you can find such fun things to decorate your packages with. And why did I decide to start with that? Because now's the time to think through that. Presentation is everything. So get started early.
That's what I was going to say. Plus, my goal this year is to get things done early.
Get started early.
The whole season.
So that's today's show.
All right. Well, and speaking of enjoying yourself, we want to be sure to invite everyone to come into Merrifield Garden Center today, because today and tomorrow, we started yesterday with our holiday open house for the season. So we want to welcome you and just get in the mood for the season, the holiday spirit, because it is beautiful there at Merrifield Garden Center. We've got refreshments. Peggy and all of our holiday designers will be creating beautiful wreaths, centerpieces, arrangements, bows, everything. So you can come and see them creating.
It's an opportunity to get up close and watch it happening, because it isn't all that complicated, you know?
Right.
And it's fun to see the action.
It is, it is. It's so fun to get to talk to everybody. We've got refreshments, you'll hear
I love
music.
visiting with everybody.
I know, it's so much fun. And during our holiday open house, we've got a couple of events going on. Today is a big day because Santa arrives. He actually is coming you'll be able to visit Santa at all 3 locations, from his headquarters at the Merrifield location that you've done for years, to both the Fair Oaks and the Gainesville locations. Beautiful areas to enjoy Santa, and there are different schedules for each location. So just go to our website, merrifieldgardencenter.com, and you'll see them all listed. But today is the day Santa arrives. Also today at our holiday open house, at our Fair Oaks location only, Carla Steinbach is back, and the Steinbach nutcrackers. I brought a couple of nutcrackers over just to show, and they are magnificent. So whether you have a collectible at home that you want to bring in, or you want to start a new collection with something we have at the Garden Center, bring them in, come by. Carla will sign them. She'll take a picture with you. It's so much fun. She is just
She's a delightful lady.
She really
She's come
is.
at least a couple of
3 years now, I
2 or 3
think.
years,
so
yes.
it's been wonderful. So that is today from 11 to 3 at our Fair Oaks location. So the fun continues because, as we've told you the last couple of weeks, the book about my dad, The American Dream, is in. All the books are in. All the paperbacks, all the hardcovers. So he's been doing a couple book signings. He did one yesterday at the Merrifield location. He's doing one today at 10, from 10 to 11 at Fair Oaks, and tomorrow from 11 to noon at Gainesville. And he's having so much fun with this, getting to talk to everybody. So it's a great book. I hope you'll come by and pick one up, and especially come by and have him sign it for you.
And one of the quotes in here is your mother saying he never meets a stranger.
That's right.
And he
Absolutely.
doesn't. He does love visiting with everybody.
He does.
And Sharon and Sal did such a magnificent job.
They really did.
With all the people they interviewed who've been a part of his life, in fitting that in and making it interesting, because let's face it, your father made it interesting.
That's right.
Wow.
As I
Those
said
of us who's been around for a while.
That's right. And as I said before, there are stories in this book that I had never heard before.
Really?
So, yes. It's great. Also, when you come in, our calendars have arrived. Peg and David and Sharon and Kevin and Chris and I and many others have worked hard on this calendar, so we're very proud of it. We'll hope you come by and pick one up. They're free, so pick one up, and full of great pictures.
Actually, it's just hot off the press,
It is
too,
hot off the
because
press,
I
too.
hadn't seen
That's
the finished
right.
product until this morning.
That's right. It's got some gardening tips
It's
in it. It's
delightful.
got lots of information, so we hope you'll come by and pick one up. So, and then next week we will have seminars next week. Let's see, we're decorating with fresh greens and flowers at the Fair Oaks location.
That's right.
Which you will be doing
With Tina.
with Tina.
Who is such a talented lady, and she will be doing part of the seminar. Please come, because this is an opportunity to see the basics and how these things are done, to encourage you to use these fresh greens in your homes where they're safe, in water. And I love doing this. I always have.
Yep.
And trying to be creative and come up with something just a little different.
That's right.
Is always a challenge.
Yeah, and you get to ask questions and see things
Absolutely.
hands-on. It's great.
It's wonderful. So please put that little block of
That's right.
time and
That's
come
right.
on
Mark
in.
your calendar. So that's at 10 a.m. at the Fair Oaks location
Yes.
next weekend, December 6th. Also at our Gainesville location, we have a Wreath workshop. Now this is a hands-on, and Jennifer Shepard and Danielle Hall are going to be doing that at Gainesville. Now the 10 o'clock class, I believe, is filled because it's hands-on. We only have a certain. But they
Yes.
have opened up another class at
Good.
12:30. So
And you'll
check
love
the
that, too.
website and sign up if you'd like to come to that. So
Right.
lots of fun, lots of things going on over the holidays. New holiday hours are in effect. We're open daily, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, Sunday included. So got plenty of time for you to come by and say hello and see the beautiful Christmas shops. Cut trees are in, the greens are in, everything smells so good. It looks so beautiful. It's just such a fun time of year. Back to decorating, to tease us into the next segment. You've got one more picture to
I
show.
knew that we had a lot of things happening,
Right.
and a lot actually that you will enjoy. But I went through my pictures and selected some of the changes over the past. Mine is a very modest home, and I've used slightly different things to decorate it over a period of time. You saw the first one that actually was just covered with the beautiful snow that we had, and a use of the LED lights. Now this is harking back a little earlier, when I really used a lot of the white regular lights. And I have transitioned primarily to the LEDs, and I am loving them. But here I have one of our custom wreaths on the door, and the simplicity of just the pine roping and a Christmas tree on the front
I love
porch.
that you have a Christmas tree on the front porch. I just love
Nice, fresh Christmas tree on the front porch.
So welcome to the holidays. Welcome to Peg's home. Welcome to your home. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
That's right. We're going to take a quick break. We will take phone calls later in the show as well. So lots going on.
All right, welcome back to Merrifield's Gardening Advisor and to decorating for Christmas. It's time to begin. And now's going to be the perfect time. Tomorrow's going to be a lovely day, and today's a good one to shop. We're looking at some of the different things that I've done just in my own entry, because everybody decorates their entrance. That is the first thing you see and the first thing that all of your friends and relatives see. I tried something just a little different on this year. I did a square wreath, the custom wreaths that we do that are so magnificent with the blend of fresh greens. And it was fun, but I went back to the regular round wreaths. And so I did, to match this, I did a mixed green garland all the way across, and then bows at either corner that would stream down, and a slight repetition of that same bow on the wreath. Now, these wreaths are so magnificent, they don't need a huge bow to complement them. Again, because it's become somewhat tradition, I have put a fresh cut tree on my front porch that says hello and welcome. I use an artificial tree in my home, but I just need that aroma. I need that fresh tree, and so it's here. And you can see that I transitioned to the LED lights, and I also transitioned to the multi-lights. I wasn't sure I could get away from that white glowy thing, but I did, and I'm really enjoying it. Let's roll through some of these, because I hope there'll be some ideas. Okay, this is much earlier, when I used a lot of the white lights. And in this particular picture, I actually strung magnolia leaves onto, wired it onto a string, and put that over the door with a small and simple wreath, and several small, decorated the trees that are actually topiaries in front of the front porch. So that's another way to go at it. Let's look at the next one. I wanted to show you some of the accents that were there. This was, I think, in this particular year, I transitioned the fresh cut tree to the back deck and tried something a little different. And so I did an arrangement with magnolia and berries, and put that next to the front door and lighted that also. Now, this is in water, but it is in a plastic bowl that, if you go into the greenhouse, comes in different sizes and is nestled into that large urn. Why? Because I've tried the metal. I had some beautiful metal cans, galvanized cans, and when it froze, it literally pushed the bottom out. And you don't want to have frozen water in a ceramic container, and so that plastic is perfect to hold your oasis and make your arrangements in when you're doing this outside. Let's go through a couple of the others here that we have. This is how I decorated the tree. There are some very interesting LED lights, and I use the balls to wire into that tree. And in the next one, please. Here is a larger view of that, so that you could see how I've tucked bows all into the tree along with the various bulbs. Now, I think that we have some totally different ones, because the next ones coming up are actually a job that we did for a customer. This is a much larger home, a much more traditional home, and there's garland all around this lovely big entrance, and then some interesting branches leading up from that, and then garland nestled into the recess that it is several feet deep around the door. In lieu of wreaths on the door, there are swags on the sides, and in the next pictures you'll see those more closely, because swags are beautiful also. It doesn't have to be a wreath, but in the next picture you'll see more of the overall thing. It's great when you've got enough room outside to have beautiful shrubs at your entrance. This is a great entrance because there's ample room for people to walk. There's a lovely entrance area where you can gather. You could even sit out there if you chose to. And then there's boxwood all along each side, and they have been lighted for Christmas. And so it really is a very inviting decorating job. A little bit of a close-up in the next picture. Here again, the swags. This is a beautiful place to use swags. On mailboxes, this happens to be the lights that are next to that front door, and garland has been used to wrap the columns next to it. Just the simplicity of a few branches of greens with a beautiful bow. And I think we have another one here. A close-up of a swag. Pine cones, fresh greens, a bow. One more picture, please. I wanted to tell you, here's my feeling. I love the fresh greens outside because they stay fresh. All of our wreaths, the custom-made wreaths, have been dipped in wilt-proof so that they just last for a very long time. You can go in, buy one of those, and know it's going to go through the holidays. It's outside. The garlands that are fresh are outside. Inside is another matter. Garlands aren't in water there. I personally prefer to use artificial garlands inside and over this gorgeous mirror. Now, you can do fresh things, a beautiful living ivy plant, beautiful, I just love the indoor plant, the cyclamen especially. Totally beautiful. Total pickup with the artificial poinsettias that are on the side. But guess what? There are real poinsettias, real amaryllis, and real narcissus, white narcissus, on the other side. So think fresh greens outside, think artificial greens inside. And we'll be back with more ideas in just a moment.
Beautiful wreaths. You're going to see more of that one in just a minute.
Absolutely, because we are going to talk about the use of these wonderful artificials inside and the great fresh outside. So let's take a quick view, because I want to share with you some of the talent that we have at all three of our locations. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I was at the Merrifield location the other day, and Norma was working on an artificial wreath, and I turned around and said, "Oh, Norma, that's such a beautiful job," and it was, and I chose to share that with you because it's such a delight to see all of the talent of the various peak bulbs.
Exactly.
And so, yes, say hello to Norma when you go into the Merrifield location. And I want to dwell for a moment on the next picture, because this is another Norma.
Yeah.
This is Norma at our Fair Oaks location. And actually, when I mentioned that we do these custom wreaths, and you can come in and watch these wonderfully talented people making these wreaths. There is a dipping vat behind her, and she has just dipped that wreath and is playing around with looking through it and smiling. So that's Norma with one of their beautifully created custom wreaths at the Fair Oaks location. And how do they do these wonderful things? In the next picture you will see. This actually I took in January at one of the big Mance events. And this is one of the companies that specializes in growing all these magnificent plants that have this variegated foliage. And so we use all these beautiful greens to create these custom designs, whether it be arrangements or not. And I'd like to take just one moment to share with you a couple of wreaths, okay? Number one, this is the wreath that Norma at the Merrifield location was creating when I went in and took the picture of her. And then this is a similar wreath to the custom fresh wreaths that we do at all three locations. And it is a delightful mix of all those beautiful greens. It has the blue berries in it. It has the beautiful red berries in it, variegated holly. I could go on and on. They are made fresh. All the greens are in water at the Fair Oaks location, I know. Before they create these, they are dipped afterwards, and they last. Now we're going to transition to a video. And in this video, I took a quick thing to be able to do this because I wanted so much to share with you how important it is to gift some things that are of such value in my opinion, because they're my favorites that have to be in my little satchel. So let's take a look at that video. With all this Christmas shopping, you've got to think about the gardeners, or the ones you would like to be gardeners. So I'm in the gifts for gardeners area, and I'm going to suggest some of those things that I can't be without. Well, I'm standing actually in something that's kind of fun. And I just tried actually some of this Archipelago Botanicals. Wonderful on my hands. But woo, there's body wash with black honey. But here I am in the serious section. You hear me talk about my absolute favorite gloves all of the time, fox gloves. And so, depending upon the color, and let's color coordinate here. Why not? Those go into my wonderful little baggie that I can carry with me from place to place. So in go the fox gloves. Now, I love to have some shoes that I can slog around in when I'm outside and it's a bit moist. And so we have sloggers. And these are really easy on and easy off, and are wonderful when it's a bit moist outside, but nice and firm, good traction. So they're going into my bag for gardeners. Just great fun. Now, one needs a hat. I wear hats a great deal. Maybe not so much right now when it's outside and windy, but these are just wonderful. And guess what? This is a slogger's hat also. So get the hat for your gardening friend. Let's put this back and talk about some absolutely serious things that I have in this bag. And actually, some of the most important ones are my Felco pruners. Just cannot be without these. I enjoy the number 2. They come in different sizes for different purposes. This is a good all-purpose one for me. So into the bag, actually, that can go in the side for easy access. I need a pair of Joyce chin scissors. I've used these for years. I have them in the kitchen. I use them for deadheading, all manner of things except cutting wire. No wire cutting with your Joyce chins, go into the bag for easy access. I try to keep a good little pair of wire cutters around, and so they likewise can go into the little pouch of the bag for easy access. I do get into some pruning, and so I reach for a nice fold-up Felco saw. Into the bag that goes. Now, I've just noticed, and I haven't used this before, but I think it would be fantastic. Felco also makes a knife, which is very useful. So let's put the knife in the bag. When I am working in the garden or working on arrangements, a good heavy-duty kitchen knife, that goes into the bag for lots of different reasons. And a good pair of scissors for when you're cutting ribbons and making bows. I like to have a roll of string around. Nice and convenient. That can go in the bag or it can go in the pocket as you wish. I'm a little bit down on my knees right now, and this is a nice soft knee pad. I love it. Top it all off with a gorgeous little apron that fits nicely. I really do enjoy the aprons because they don't bother my neck, and now I can put my tools in the apron. So, gifts for gardeners. Think about the things I just don't want to be without.
Now, Peggy, I was noticing when you were on the video with your satchel, as you call it, your bag of gardener's goodies, how important this is, because not only do you use this and chose this, Renetta did the same thing last week. She has her tools in this bag. So this is a great gift for gardeners. The bag is even better if it's full of handy items. But you know, you've got in here your wrapped wires for bows and all kinds of things. But I was just struck at how that was, you know,
absolutely.
A great gift.
Well, this is just such a necessity because gardening outside is fantastic. It has everything I need in it. Okay. Right. But also, when I leave here today, I'm going to be arranging fresh greens. And I don't want to go looking for things.
Exactly.
It's all here.
Right.
And so when I say to you, you just got to have these Felcos. Number one, if something happens, there are replacement parts.
Right.
And keeping them oiled is so important. James at our Fair Oaks location just saved me because I hadn't taken good care of my second pair. And he brought them back for me, just with some oils, etc. Right. But one thing that I would like to share, as far as these not Joyce Chin. Shush, that's part of my
I know.
everything, you know.
Your being.
Right, with the wonderful gloves.
Right.
I use these all the time because they're snug. They fit my hands well. And I like nice solutions too. But here is a tiny little box of bag balm. I keep this small one in. I replenish it from the bigger one.
Right. That's a good idea.
And I use this, turn this baby around. I use this bag balm on my hands, and then I put my gloves on, and it is fantastic because my hands get into a lot of things. And actually, because I work so much with the fresh greens, it's actually harder on the hands than gardening is.
Right.
But here is a thought, and I've shared this with you before, but I'll share it again. If you get the ones without the knobs inside, then you can apply this bag balm heavily, put on a fresh, clean pair at night, and sleep with them on.
Yes.
You will be shocked how soft your hands are in the morning. When you're a gardener, that's important, you know?
Right.
Now, the other thing is, while you're got these gloves on, let's share this. When I'm working outside with something that's wet, or even getting fresh greens out, I keep on hand a box of the disposable gloves and get the snug ones that fit on. Now I can still feel this is easy, and it keeps those gloves from getting wet and cold.
Right.
Two things that I do that work for me, you know, absolutely. But
Speaking of gifts, you've got a lot of gorgeous packages here. So show us how we turn this into something even more beautiful.
we could do that. We could do that. And in order to do that, I'm going to walk over here to some of the things that I wrapped. I spent most of yesterday wrapping. And I will show you that if you are a quickie person and you like to use the bags, then this is one design. It has some lovely figures in it. And when you go to the trees, which they're all so magnificent, they have beautiful, beautiful things involved. I've got to get that right. Okay, here is one. If you're taking a bottle of wine or whatever, you can put a beautiful ornament on that, and they can take it off and use it on the tree and always remember you, you know? And then, again, going to the trees, a lovely little piece that's just gently attached and could actually be used around a candle holder or could be used on your tree. And so you do these beautiful decorations and they can be reused. I, again, went to the tree and picked up some of the lovely garlands and picked up an artificial flower, which I divided up, and so it goes a long way when you do that. And just cut a piece of the garland and the artificial flower, and you can actually hot glue that on. It makes for a very attractive decoration. And then I really, really had fun with this one. I've got to show you this one especially, and it looks very at home next to our wonderful little bear here. Going to the trees, there was a lovely little Christmas tree on one of the woodland type trees. And so I just put a tiny touch of hot glue here, and there was a garland also on that tree, which I cut and added to that for a little additional color. And I love the brown bag look. But to that, I added a lovely bow to the top. Very simple, but a lot of fun and very, very natural. And then a coordinating color using the green and some of the spectacular ribbons that we have. I just thought this ribbon was beautiful and was a contrast to the green, okay? Just a simple bow, and again, went to the trees and picked up these wonderful little decorations here. Just a tiny touch of hot glue did the job. To do something completely different and very stylish, I think, took some artificials and cut those apart and did a tiny little hot glue job here. Some ferns, coordinating the colors, okay? Now, you certainly can do just simple bows. Beautiful for that, okay? Now, I want to show you that we all need to have fun.
That's right.
It's a fun time of the year. And so I had to have a little fun also. So as I walk back over to Debbie, and definitely tear up stuff while I'm here, I picked up...
That is so cute.
I picked up one of the fun things that was on, well, some lovely ones on a couple of the trees. I know in the breezeway at the Fair Oaks location. And I had this bag, and I thought, oh,
What
this
could I do with
is
that
just
bag?
perfect. Well, you know, it's a challenge, and it's fun to figure out what can I do with these things.
Right.
And get the kids involved wherever they can be. But I just decided that this frog was the cutest little thing.
Right.
And so I added some green that would complement that. And wouldn't anybody
Adorable.
anybody
That's
enjoy finding out what's inside
That's
that
right.
package?
Oh, what great ideas. Thank
Yeah,
you, Peg.
and I have to share, while I was doing this, I have a Santa that sits in a certain place every year. And I thought, Santa needs some little packages.
Okay.
So I took myself off to find some little boxes. And with all the scraps that I had from doing these other packages, Deb grabbed a couple of those.
And we do have to go to a break here. So.
I created the little
How adorable.
packages to go around Santa.
Absolutely.
But you may have a small package. They say good things come in small packages.
They do. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking your phone calls, 703-387-1046. So give us a call. Those wreaths are so beautiful. That was actually one that Leo at the Fair Oaks location had put together.
Yes, Leo is the leader of the pack out there.
It's so fun to watch them out there making
It is.
So.
It is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're taking your phone calls, 703-387-1046. And CJ from DC is calling. Are you there? CJ?
I wanted to ask, what was it that you dipped your greens in? Because I'm making my own wreath from my garden this
Oh,
year.
wonderful. That's great. Wilt proof. Wilt proof is the anti-desiccant kind of thing that you even spray on broad-leafed evergreens to help them get through the winter. So it somewhat seals off that fresh cut greens and really does make it last. I am amazed. I kept one of those custom wreaths on my door well into January last year because they're so beautiful. And taking the bow off, it doesn't have to say Christmas, you know? So yes, wilt proof.
So how often,
Just once.
I dip it. I dip it in there, or do I spray it on?
You can do either.
Okay, all right. Now, can I have another quickie question? I made the mistake of leaving my clay pots out because I wasn't able to put them in, but because they have pansies in them. So what can I do? Because I know that I'm going to have to, sort of keep them out all winter, but I have a porch.
There are a couple of things that I do, and usually the simple clay goes through the winter pretty well. Every now and then I'll lose one, but most of the time I don't, because I too have things in them. I have pansies. I have boxwood that have been in them for quite some time. The main thing is, don't leave a saucer with water in it underneath. That will crack the saucer, the pot, and everything. Don't sit it on the ground because that will encourage the pot to crack too. The best thing that you can do is put it on your deck or put it on stone, your walkway or that sort of thing, or on the edge of your porch is fine too. If the pot is small, you can take it a step farther and wrap some bubble wrap, use some nice string to secure it at the top, secure it at the bottom. And I know we have burlap and we sell burlap, but we also have it out at the loading dock we used to wrap the trees with. Fun and very attractive. If you put this bubble wrap around a small pot, then you can wrap with the burlap and put a red bow on it, and it really is very attractive, but you've given that pot a little extra help. Now, do I go out and do that all the time? No, I don't. I take my chances. But I don't leave my pots sitting on the ground. They're either sitting on gravel or they're on the patio. Yes.
Great.
Oh,
Good
thank
luck.
you. You've been so helpful.
Thank you, CJ.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to take a quick break. Norma's going to be on the line when we get back, so hold on, Norma. Another Norma today.
Another Norma.
So we'll be right back.
Third's the charm,
Third's the
Norma.
Reason for the season.
Yes, and I'm very pleased that the bump shot came in on that, because very quickly before we go to our callers, I want to show you that it is so important to put the Christ in Christmas and not to forget what this is all about. This was actually a couple of years ago on my back deck. I told you that year that instead of putting the tree on the front porch, this is a fresh cut tree, which I feel I just have to have. And I did set it up on the deck. But I moved the nativity into a prime position, used the grapevine and around it to accent it, and to put up the lights. And then I had a spotlight on it. And it was delightful, because while we were having our Christmas Eve family celebration, it was very obvious.
Right.
And so we put the Christ in Christmas.
Okay.
And just another quickie of the other little picture. A part of that scene was I used some of the little statuary that I've accumulated over the years. And I want to suggest that some of the pieces of statuary are so incredibly beautiful. They make great gardener's gifts.
Absolutely.
And put that on your list.
Absolutely.
Whether there's owls or all those wonderful little bunny rabbits, whatever. All right.
Okay. Let's get back to Norma. Norma, you're there. Thank you for waiting so patiently
Sorry.
for us.
Yes, I am here.
Good morning.
Great. Good morning. What can we do for you today?
Okay, I would like to know the name of the cream for the hands. The hand cream.
Oh, I'll go back, because this, believe me, if you ever use it, you'll just be hooked. It's called Bag Balm, B-A-G-B-A-L-M, and I think it came about for people who milk cows. I avoided that when I was down on the farm, okay? It comes in bigger containers, and it's more economical in those, but I love to buy the small one and replenish it from the big one, because once you've used it, as I said, you're hooked.
That's right. Thanks for asking, Norma.
Great. Thank you, and enjoy the holidays.
Take care. Okay, our next caller is Joanne, who's calling from Quantico. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Love Merrifield Garden Centers. I'm an addict to buying there, and I love your show. My husband and I are plant addicts, and we have a wonderful tropical hibiscus that we've just fallen in love with, and I brought it into the sunroom. I swore I wouldn't do it anymore because I get bugs. I saw little black spots, and my husband saw a little tiny ant. Help me, I hate to throw it out.
Oh, no.
And perhaps you will not have to throw it out, okay?
Yay.
I did something this year that I haven't done for a very long time, and that was bring in a number of things that I just didn't think I could part with. And we'll see how long that lasts, you know? But you can get these hibiscus through. And yes, they are susceptible to some of the bugs. And the thing that I use most often is the oil, which is very safe. However, I teasingly say to David Yost, I'll take care of the beauty and tell you where to plant that so that it won't have a problem. And then, if it does have a problem, he can take care of the beast. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, there's a horticultural laurel, and you need to do this outside and spray it really well. However, if you have the chance while you're shopping at Merrifield, take a little piece of that with you and let them look at it at our plant clinic and be sure that's exactly the thing you should do. Okay, Joanne, that's the best that I can do for you as far as bugs are concerned.
Okay, thank you. I was going to head out there today. And,
Well, then take that along with you, honey. I mean, not the whole plant.
Yeah.
Just a representation of what you want to take care of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Say hello if you're at Fair Oaks. I don't know
I
whether
will.
you go.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Joanne.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, our next caller is Rita, who's calling from Reston. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Rita.
Good morning.
I'm sorry. Hi, Peggy.
Yes, Rita.
I need help. I need
It is the season, Rita.
And this has to do with the wreath for the front door.
Okay.
I have a full screen storm door,
Yes.
and I need to get a wreath on my door that would fit between the storm door and the door, because I got to leave a little space for when the mailman comes to put the mail through the slot.
Okay. Here's a suggestion.
Every year I'm having a problem because we can't, I can't shut the door, and my husband refuses to move the storm door.
Gotcha.
Okay,
So I need your
that's
help.
fine.
Okay,
Well,
just have 1
here's
minute.
my suggestion. Measure the space as best you can so that you know how wide it needs to be. Come in. We have some of the pre-made wreaths that are narrower, but we also sell wreath rings that can be made thinly, okay? That's a matter of wrapping the stuff on. So there is an answer. We just have to find it, okay?
right.
You either create your own on this round wreath form or the pre-mades that are flatter, okay, Rita? Because our custom wreaths won't fit in that door. They're too thick for that, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
We've run out of time. Sorry about that. But thank you for joining us, everybody. And we hope you will go by Merrifield Garden Center today. Enjoy the holiday open house. Peg's going
I'll be
right
there,
now.
and her
I'll be there a
dad
little
will be
later on.
book signing.
Dad's doing his book signing today at
Yes.
Fair Oaks. We've got Carla Steinbach at Fair Oaks. We've got so much
And
going on.
popcorn.
So that's right. Next week we'll talk about trees on the show. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time.